Hello everybody, and this is week 3 of Wrestling With My Thoughts, which is the weekly roundup show where I round up both Raw and SmackDown on a weekly basis. Okay, so I'm just going to jump straight into it here. This week's Raw, we had Mick Foley opening the show. He had a prepared statement in which Triple H had handed to him before he went out, is what we were told, in which he sort of, afterwards even, he kicked off in regards to how he's Mick Foley, he's been there for years. He's literally a legend there. He shouldn't really have to sort of conform to what they want him to say. And then his mic sort of cuts, keeps cutting out. And then Stephanie McMahon comes out, sort of berates him a little bit before finally firing him. And then Sami Zayn came out to help Mick Foley, only for Samoa Joe to then come out. And then to sort of lead up a match between Joe and Sami Zayn yet again. I believe this is the third, possibly fourth week in a row now. However, Joe beats Sami Zayn quite cleanly in a submission. It was quite good. And this is followed by Mick Foley sort of saying his goodbyes to the people he not made, but sort of brought up, made better, improved. Basically what he'd done during a short time period there. As Raw GM, I believe it is GM. Is it GM? Starting at GM? Whatever, the authority figure, either or. So we sort of said goodbye to sort of Bailey, who he, storyline wise, brought up from NXT. He said goodbye to both Cesaro and Sheamus, whom, of course, he'd put together after stringing them along through a 7 series, which came to a 3-3 draw, and then the final one being, again, a draw. But they seem to be getting along quite well now. And then finally, obviously, as I said, Sami Zayn sort of saying goodbye. I believe the exact quote was about people don't say meet your heroes. However, when Sami Zayn met his hero, being Mick Foley, he was not disappointed. He was quite happy with that. Sort of a stroll through memory lanes for everything that was good that Mick Foley brought whilst being in charge, as I said. Only to end with Triple H being there, sort of giving him a smug look, saying, "Have a nice day," which is, pretty prime heel. So, this was followed up by Seth Rollins' not doctor. Not too sure whom it was, a physician of some sort. But he repeatedly kept calling him Mister and not Doctor, which I thought was quite weird. So just saying about how Seth's knees are still messed up and he can't do it. He's not doing it. No doctor's going to clear him, etc. And following this, we had Triple H's in-ring interview, which sort of made it sound like he's sort of saying how he's not going to fight him. It's too risky, it's illegal, etc. But then he sort of ended it sounding like he's going to have I think the exact term was a no hold. Something that sounded really lame. Either way, it sounds like it's going to lead up to a street fight. It's not too dissimilar to that of Shawn Michaels and Triple H from SummerSlam of, I believe it was 2002, where they had a similar sort of thing where it was sort of, we can't do it for legal reasons, oh no, we'll do it anyway, but it's a street fight scenario. So I'm fine with that. I'm looking quite forward to it. I'm quite fond of how it's been built up, how Triple H and Seth Rollins sort of had no physical altercations until quite recently. Just good, because it's been a build up for 2 years there. Following this, we had Bailey in a match against Nia Jax, where the stipulation was if Nia Jax won, then she'd be put into the WrestleMania Women's match on Raw. This match was made a no DQ match. However, the thing I thought quite peculiar about this was there was no weapons and there was no interference, despite the fact that pretty much every week on a female's Raw match there's normally some sort of interference of some scale, whereas the one time where it's a no DQ match it was completely fine, no one bothered to come out. It was quite peculiar. However, Nia Jax did win, which I'm quite happy with. She's probably one of the, my opinion, my favourite woman on the Raw roster at the minute, so if she's going to be in the WrestleMania match, I'm quite fine with that. Following this, we had Chris Jericho's highlight reel to show off the quote real Kevin Owens, which I'm not going to lie, I was expecting something not too dissimilar to how back in the day you get sort of the joke characters to come out. I was partly expecting Gilbert to come back out with a with shorts and a cut off and a sleeveless shirt on. However, what we did get was a very real, very heartfelt, very reality-based promo from Chris Jericho. It was just show pictures of Kevin Owens from back in his youth, having a Chris Jericho shirt on with the Chris Jericho pose, the Chris Jericho poster, which is pretty strange. It's the best way to put that. It's pretty strange. There was also some Twitter messages between Kevin Owens and Jericho when Owens was first starting, which was pretty nondescript in regards of, just sort of measures them out of the blue, which seemed pretty genuine, to be honest. And then after this, sort of Mojo distracts Chris Jericho, and then obviously Kevin Owens would attack him from behind, which is sort of, basic wrestling heel. And the next part was a cruiserweight match, which I'm not going to talk about too much. However, I think I am going to mention is a running theme on this show here, as it is on WWE TV apparently too. Brian Kendrick steals Tozawa's passport. Now, this is the 4th week in a row where a crime had been committed and no one batted an eyelid. We've had arson, we had assault, we've had attempted murder, and now just to add to this list, we have identity theft as well now. So yeah, it's just been sort of a running theme going on for a while here. It just seems to never be ending. And following this, we had a build up to the triple threat tag team match at WrestleMania, which was classed as Stephanie McMahon the Revenge in a way of what McFoley brought. So she had Cesaro and Sheamus go on face the Club and Enzo and Cass. And if Cesaro and Sheamus didn't win, then they'd be out of the WrestleMania triple threat match. The match itself made no sense. The match stipulations did, however, when the match kicked off, the Club attacked Enzo and Cass, which makes Cesaro and Sheamus' job a lot easier, whereas it would have made a lot more sense how they would have worked with them to get rid of one team so that they could then attack them afterwards, take them out that way. It makes more sense to me, but yeah. Following this, we had a Austin Aries and Neville promo, which I'm not going to lie, it's probably going to steal the show at WrestleMania. Just going to throw that out there. Following that, we had Charlotte facing Dana Brooke, whom it's kind of been building for quite a while. And this match ended with a really mediocre, underwhelming boot to the face, and that was just sort of finished. It's just strange. Then we got to the final segment of Raw, which was the match between Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns, which should probably have been a WrestleMania match, if I'm being honest. However, as I said, this is the match we got at the main event of Raw this week. The match itself was good. It was a good match, which ended by the Undertaker getting involved and giving a chokeslam on Braun Strowman, which is probably the best Undertaker chokeslam I've seen in quite some time. I'm going to be totally honest about that one there. In the match itself, it really should just be a triple threat match. I really want it to be, but I know it's not going to be. But it probably should. Makes more sense, probably more entertaining that way. Also, while I was in work once, I wasn't well watching this even. One of my colleagues informed me that the Undertaker now looks like a lot like what Waylon Mercer used to look back in the day. Which, for you younger folk, I'll Google that one. It's pretty accurate, to be honest. Pretty funny. And now we move on to SmackDown Live this week, which opened up with AJ Styles again, saying that he's going to do exactly the same thing he did last time in regards of putting Jane's head through a window again, and then he just sort of waited in the car park all night, essentially, or the parking lot for American folks. Which is followed by the tag team title match of the American Alpha versus the Usos, in which the Usos won, which I'm quite happy about. I'm not going to lie about that one either. And I'll be honest, it was probably the best match of the whole week. It's the Usos just killing it with these new personas they've got going for themselves. I'm a fan of these. And we got the Total Bella Miz Maurice sketches, which I'm just going to go through as a whole rather than breaking them down individually. I mean, as a whole, it was a pretty solid spoof. The Miz nailed the mannerisms and the minor subtle scenerisms. Maurice's acting was I don't know if the acting was poor or if the acting was so good it was portraying the poor acting of Nikki Bella. Either or, her performance was sort of whereas the Miz pretty nailed the mannerisms, as I said. And the best part of the entire segments in regard to this was essentially every now and again he sort of mimicked like he was going to propose and then sort of nulls it with something unromantic. But the best one was the "I'm going to buy you a diamond" Dallas Page yoga. DDP yoga, man, killed me. It was also quite strange how they sort of muted the crowd for the entire segments, whereas normally tend to feed crowd noise in. I thought it was quite peculiar. It would have made it a lot more interesting to sort of hear the laugh as it was happening as well, but that's just my thought. And then we had Baron Corbin versus Randy Orton, in which Corbin gets distracted by Ambrose. Orton wins, sort of a meh match. And Orton's backstage in the middle of an interview, and then he gets ambushed by what I can only describe as the cult of Wyatt. Just people in sheep masks, sort of like really bad Eric Rowan cosplayers, really. However, Bray Wyatt was there. He sort of done some strange ritual on him, which if we're gonna see this sort of satanic Bray Wyatt, his entrance at WrestleMania better be amazing. Because I mean, otherwise, if it's just normal Bray Wyatt entrances and normal Bray Wyatt matches, it's just gonna be so dull. I just want Bray Wyatt to sort of just take an RKO straight off the bat and just kick out one. That'd be amazing. I just want him to have some sick entrance who comes through fire, the ground, just come out with a massive cult. It'll just be super cool. And this was also followed up by Luke Harper then cutting a promo on how he's going to face Bray Wyatt next week. He also did say he is aware of how dangerous Sister Abigail's power can be. The next match was John Cena versus Fandango, which the match itself I'm not going to go into too much. In all honesty, I mean, it was funny how the announcers referenced the Southpaw Regional Wrestling skits that were on their WWE YouTubes, which if you've not seen, I suggest you go and watch them too. They are quite really funny too. But yeah, prior to the match, that's the thing I didn't really understand at all. I mean, the characters from Fandango and Telebreeze are meant to be fashion police. They give tickets for people with bad fashion, which I get. However, before the match here, they sort of listing out things that John Cena's done that I don't agree with and just give them tickets for them, which, I mean, they're not the life police, they're not the relationship police. I don't understand why they give tickets out for that. If the fashion, then fair enough. They give them one for wearing jean shorts, which is kind of, that's fine, you know, that's the characters, that's acceptable. Yeah, I don't understand why they were giving sort of life things, it just doesn't make sense. And then the final SmackDown segment was Shane McMahon, who came out through the normal entrance, didn't go through the car park or parking lot to get through past AJ. He sort of went straight through. I don't know how, he probably just came through the normal fan way, I am assuming. Pretty much ended with AJ and Shane McMahon in the ring having a bit of a brawl, and then Shane McMahon give the nod, well, I won't say normal because it's still pretty cool. The Shane McMahon elbow from the top rope to the table on the outside should be seen quite often from Shane McMahon, to be honest, but it's still pretty impressive. So yeah, that pretty much sums up both SmackDown and Raw this week. My segment of the week this week was the Strowman, Reigns and Undertaker segment from the end of Raw. I think it was probably the strongest segment of the week. My match of the week is the Usos versus American Alpha. As I said, it was the best actual match itself this week. My star of the week this week, there's quite a few people this could go to, if I'm being totally honest with you. Yeah, I'm going to give it to Mick Foley, just simply because he's just not going to be around much more. So I'm just going to give it to him for the opening promo where he just sort of after he read it out. I think he ripped up the script, I'm not sure. But either way, when he sort of went off on one, that was probably the best start of the week. So yeah, that pretty much sums up everything. So let me know what you thought. We also go into the week's way, your match of the week's win, your start of the week's raw. Like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys again next week.